Hey y'all, welcome back. My name is Sarah. I am a movie blogger. I wanted to talk about The Whale. So I know that there was a big hubbub about The Whale, and Fraser won an Oscar for his performance, which is well deserved. It is a very minimal film. There's one location, maybe a couple different views of the same location, very small cast. This is a very character-driven drama, tragedy to say. So I guess spoilers, there'll be spoilers in this review. The movie has been out for a while now, so I feel like I can speak freely about it. And this is the kind of movie where you have to be in the mindset to watch it, because you know that this is not a happy-go-lucky, heartwarming kind of film. That is a very emotional, kind of heavy drama. So the movie basically follows the main character over the last week of his life. He wakes up one day and is very disturbed when he wakes up. Since that day, he's been making active strides to reach out to his estranged daughter, who he doesn't have a very good relationship with after he was divorced from her mother. As we go through the story and we see we really get like a snapshot of his life from day to day to day over the course of the week. He teaches English from home. You hear him talking about writing advice and tips, why it's so important. And you can see all of the little things that come with living a sedentary, kind of isolated life. The fact that although he does teach from home, he does not turn on his camera, so his students can't see him, they can only hear his voice. The way he moves through his home, what he chooses to focus his attention on, all of those things matter, and we get to see all of it. I suppose as a story, it moves very slowly, but emotionally, it hits over and over and over again. The awkwardness of just meeting talking to people that you don't know, all of it is captured there. So over the course of the last week of his life, he reaches out to his estranged daughter who visits him. He explains to her that he wants to be more involved in her life and wants to know what's going on with her and school and things like that. She's not having it. She's extremely resistant to it, so he kind of has to bribe her, which that's a parent's MO, you know? So to spend time with her, he tells her that he has money stashed away for her and that she'll get access to it if she agrees to come by and visit him. So we get to see him interacting with his friend, who is also sort of like his informal caretaker, and we get to see what his priorities are, what's important to him, what's not important to him, and how he manages himself from day to day. And through that, we are introduced to the people that come into his life. Like, for example, I'm assuming Jehovah's Witness who comes to the house, who for some reason is very determined to speak to him and I guess convert him. I'm not really sure what the initial point of it was, but you find out over the course of that week that this person has been lying, that he's been trying to escape judgment from his family and friends in his community because he was smoking weed and got caught. He reconciles with his family. Over the course of that week, we learned that he was married to a woman, had a child with her, they were together for a while, and then he divorced her and entered into a relationship with a man, and somewhere in the course of their relationship, his partner committed suicide. It goes into a little bit of detail about that and how his partner grew up, and the environment that he was in was very religious and very strict. And we get to meet his adopted sister and get her perspective, living in the same household and growing up with the same parents, you know, how that has impacted them very, very deeply. And I was not ready for the emotional roller coaster that you're on while you watch this movie, because there's not a lot of like activity necessarily. There's so much nuance in the story, and his friend, you know, loving him, feeling frustrated by him, angry at him, confused, like all of these things, and then himself feeling helpless and frustrated, but always having this gentle spirit about him, and how even that is pushed to the limit. The way the story ends is so striking and strange, but also throughout the entire movie, it's grounded in reality. Like, this is the reality of what it is like when you are isolating yourself, are obese in the way that he is, to the point where he has like limited physical capabilities, and his home is not support him like the way that his home is set up. It's not designed for his body to fit. It's more like he wanted everything to stay the same in the house as much as he could, but it didn't allow him to fully use his home. There were certain things that he couldn't do, parts of the house that he couldn't reach. It was like he was in limbo. It's like purgatory in a way. He was just waiting to get to the end. He was just waiting to get to that last day, I think. And before getting there, he wanted to reach out to his daughter, wanted to speak to her and reach her in some kind of way. All of the references to Moby Dick and water and the cool tone colors and everything just made these last days feel remarkable and special, and to have almost an unreal, in some ways, unreal moments in there that were a surprise. It's worth a watch if you can handle it, because it is very emotional. I recommend it. I love movies that are very grounded in reality but allow room for those really remarkable moments of life. I would give it a 4 out of 5. I think it was very well organized. I think the structure was done very well to separate the days so that they don't all seem to blend together, especially when you're in the same space, the same setting, which I really liked that. Seeing him go through these different stages up until that last day and seeing his struggle, it was incredible. It was incredible performances across the board. It got me. Normally, I'm not Oscar, nominated films. I'm like, okay, that is a huge accomplishment for the staff and production and the actors and directors, but that doesn't dictate the movies that I choose. Yeah, so if you guys have seen it, let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments below. And I appreciate you all spending your time with me, and I'll see you all next time.